Another story is The Not So Scary Snorklum by Paul Bright and Jane Chapman. The setting sun glowed orange as the scary Snorklum stomped home to his cave on the hill. I am late, he thought, and his whiskers began to wibble in a worried sort of way. Then he met Mole, and although his head told him he was late, his tummy told him he was hungry. I am the scary snorklum, he growled, and I am going to have mole sandwich for tea with a little salt and pepper and chunky pickle. If you are the scary snorklum, said Mole, why are you wibbling in your whiskers in a worried sort of way? Whiskers wibbling, snorted the snorklum. Worried? What nonsense! Nothing worries a snorklum. He put Mole in his pocket to eat later and hurried on his way. The sinking sun glowed red as the scary snorklum hurried onwards up the hill. I must be home by dark, he muttered, and his tail began to twitch in a timid sort of way. Then he met Rabbit, and although his head told him he was very late, his tummy told him that a rabbit pie would be even better than a mole sandwich. Look, that's a rabbit. I am the scary snorklum, he snarled, and I'm going to have rabbit pie for tea, with chips and gravy. If you are the scary snorklum, said Rabbit, why are you twitching in your tail in a timid sort of way? Tail twitching? Snorted the snorklum. Timid? No, snorklums aren't timid. They are scary, really scary. He put Rabbit in his bag to eat later and hurried on. The sun dipped and disappeared as the scary snorklum raced up the hill. I am so late, he gasped. I must be home by night time, and his knees began to knock in a nervous sort of way. Then he met Badger, and although his head told him that he was very, very late, his tummy told him that a badger stew would be even tastier than a rabbit pie. I am the scariest snorklum, he roared, and I am going to have badger stew for tea with peas and dumplings. If you really are the scariest snorklum, said Badger, why are you knocking in your knees and twitching in your tail? Said Rabbit, and wibbling in your whiskers? Added Mole. Are you a scary snorklum or a scared snorklum? Or maybe, said Badger, you are not a snorklum at all. Of course I am a snorklum, bellowed the snorklum, quite forgetting that he was in a hurry. I can prove it, and when I am done, I will eat you all for tea. I have heard, said Badger, that a scary snorklum can scare the leaves off the trees with a single stare. I can do that, said the snorklum. Just you watch. He screwed off his face and he stared and stared. The tree shook and shivered, and their leaves fell, fluttering to the ground. Not bad, said Rabbit, but a gust of wind could do that. I have heard that a scary snorklum can scare the birds out of the sky with a single word. Easy, said the snorklum. He took a long, deep breath and roared. The birds all flew down from the sky and hid in the trees and bushes, trembling. But the birds settle in the trees at night anyway, said More. And you can't be a scary snorklum because I've heard that if a scary snorklum stays out after the dark, he goes poof or eh, eh, as darkness finally fell, the scary snorklum, for he really was a scary snorklum, shrunk with a poof and a flush and a cry into a tiny, timid snorklum. You tricked me, squid, but when I have grown big and scary again, I'll be back, and next time I will have you for breakfast. That's the end of the story. Thank you. Bye.